Hey everyone, what is going on? So we're doing more Twilight PvP battles, and this is my finalized team. Now, keep in mind that I might change it a little bit, and if I do, I will let you guys know. But anyway, let's go over the team. We're going with Toxicroak, Azumarill, Skunktank, Crobat, Alolan Muck, and Venomoth. Now this is the team that I do plan on going with. Again, I might switch it up a little bit. For example, I might take out that Crobat and add a Golbat or something once I use Golbat. I do want to test that out in these videos. Now just because this is my finalized team doesn't mean I'm not going to have videos. I'm still going to have videos testing out other Pokemon. I'll be using Tyranitar in tomorrow's video just to see how it works. It actually works pretty good, believe it or not. But anyway, yeah. So basically going with this team, as I said, I might change up some things. For example, on the Skunktank, I do want to probably delete Crunch and add Flamethrower. So something like that. May change up some things, but yeah, so let me know your final team. Let me know the team you plan on going with, and let me know your movesets or whatnot. And yeah, I really do enjoy this team, so I'm really happy with this team. That's why I picked this. But again, might pull that Skunktank or switch its move. I'm not sure. I'm kind of iffy on that one. I might add something else. But anyway, we do go ahead and win the first battle. Hope you guys did enjoy that battle. And pick up a rare candy for that, actually. So that's really nice. So I'll definitely take that. And we're going to go ahead and move on to yet another battle. We do have Skunktank, and they begin with Clefable. Clefable, really powerful Pokemon. They pull the switch into that Toxicroak. Of course, I'm going to have to switch because I know it has Mud Bomb. Now, Mud Bomb does not do anything to Azumarill. I mean, it does something, but it doesn't do much. Right, so we just take another Mud Bomb because it's, again, not going to do much to us. And we're going to go ahead and get off that Play Rough, which, of course, is going to force the shield. So I knew he would protect, and he actually does get off Mud Bomb. And I do go ahead and protect that because I wanted to get off another move, which is going to be my Play Rough. And that would either knock it out or force a shield, and it did knock him out. I knew he wouldn't protect it, at least I didn't think he would. But anyway, he switches into his Clefable, which is going to be able to pick up the KO on my Azumarill. I pull the switch into Skunktank. I do block that Medium Mesh because Medium Mesh is going to do a lot of damage, and I do get off that Crunch. Kind of predicting the shield, and he does go ahead and pull that shield up. So we're done with my opponent's protect shield, so that's good. He does knock out Skunktank. I switch into Venomoth, which does have the confusion. He does go ahead and get off that Medium Mesh, unfortunately, which does a lot of damage. Not enough to take me out, but it still does a lot of damage. I do get off the Silver Wind. Not going to do a whole lot to Umbreon, and at this point, I knew I was basically in trouble because I have no shields left, and Umbreon is not taking a lot of damage. So he does pick up the win. Very close game, though. Very close game. But yeah, he does get the win on that one. But we do get a rare candy, so that's awesome. 2 rare candies in a row, actually. He begins with Quillfish. I do want to test out Quillfish, by the way. I do plan on using that. Quillfish is actually not a bad Pokemon, I don't think. But I do pull the switch into Azumarill. He does go ahead and use Ice Beam. And I knew he had Ice Beam on, and that's why I didn't protect. I do get off my Play Rough, which against a Quillfish isn't going to do a whole lot because it does resist it. But that's still decent damage. I mean, coming from something that it resists. So I'll definitely take that. I do go ahead and take that Ice Beam, use a Play Rough again. And I knew that it would knock it out or force the shield, and he does waste one of his shields, so really happy about that. I was hoping he would use a protect shield, and he did. We both actually faint at the same time, which is actually pretty funny. And he switches into his shiny Honchkrow, and I go ahead and switch into my Alolan Muck, and yeah, doing a lot of damage just with that poison jab fast move. But yeah, go ahead, use that move. He does protect, even though the animation didn't show the protect, but we do take that last shield from him, so now he's out of shield. So looking pretty good at this point. He does have his Venomoth. I get off a Dark Pulse, doing about 40%, doing a good amount of damage to that Venomoth, so I'll definitely take that. Now he does have a Venomoth, and I have a Crobat, and I knew I got the game because Crobat is super effective against Venomoth, and Venomoth is super effective against Crobat, but since he was at half health, we're going to be able to knock it out. So we do go ahead and knock it out with that Crobat. So really fun game. I begin with my Azumarill. This time he immediately pulls the switch, probably not wanting to deal with Play Rough. Of course, he still has to deal with it with his Skunktank. I know it's neutral, but it still does a lot of damage, even though it is neutral, you know. So doing a lot of damage with that Play Rough. I do recommend at least having one fairy move on your team. There's no fast attack fairy moves just because, you know, you never know when you're going to go up against those dark Pokemon. So my fairy of choice is going to be Azumarill. Let me know your fairy of choice in the comments down below. But he does pull into the Alolan Ninetales. Now, I did decide to stay in because Alolan Ninetales is not doing much to my Azumarill. We actually eat those Ice Beams for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We eat them all day long, so not doing a whole lot. He does get off another Ice Beam, but I do decide to protect because that would have knocked me out, and we do get off an ice beam of our own, and that's going to force his last shield, so that's really nice. It would have either knocked him out or forced the shield, but I guess he wanted to give up his last shield, so I was really happy about that. I did switch into Crobat. I actually used my last shield because he did get off an ice beam. I didn't think he would get off that ice beam, but unfortunately he did, so that does take the last shield from us. So going ahead using Sludge Bomb, and now he's going to go ahead and use Foul Play, doing a good amount of damage. I actually did a decent amount of damage to Crobat, but yeah, we do manage to just about get off a Sludge Bomb on that Umbreon. Of course, we faint, but that's okay because we do have Venomoth, and I know Foul Play can't take us out, so we're going to be able to take out that Umbreon because of how weak it was and because of how low health it had left, so we do take that win. So we're going to go ahead and move on to yet another game, of course, and I begin with my Azumarill, and he begins with his Quillfish, and I'm just going to stick around because I knew he had Ice Beam as a charge move, and I knew that was the only move he had. Does switch into Golbat. I'm going to force a shield because he knows I have Ice Beam, so of course he's going to shield. I switch out immediately to Venomoth. Now it's basically my Venomoth for his Golbat. I've mentioned that before. How many times have I mentioned that? But I'm going to go ahead and protect just so I can knock out that Golbat. So we're looking pretty good in a decent situation at this point. I do go ahead and use Civil Wind. He does not block, but still does a decent amount of damage even though it's Quillfish resisted. I'll take that damage. And he does knock out my Venomoth, and I switch right into my Azumarill. And right now, I do get off that charge move, Ice Beam. Not going to do a whole lot to Tentacruel. But yeah, Azumarill is not really good against Tentacruel. So if you're going up against someone that has a Tentacruel, you might not want to bring Azumarill because Azumarill cannot do much. I mean, we actually did a decent amount of damage to this Tentacruel, but you do have to go through several charge moves in order to do that kind of damage. So not really doing a lot. Does get off that Sludge Wave, but we do have enough to be able to take out that Tentacruel, so I'll definitely take that. And he does switch into his Quillfish. He actually gets off the Ice Beam and beats us, so he had the Ice Beam fully maxed when he switched out the Quillfish. So very good play at his end. That was a really good match. You know, we were just about to win it. We had that charge move almost ready to go, but unfortunately he does sneak out the win. So really good play at his end, but he does begin with a Survivor. Immediately I'm going to switch out just so I can have that confusion going. He does switch into Tentacruel, and I actually question that play because I'm super effective against Tentacruel because I do have that confusion, so I don't know why he did that switch. I do go ahead and block that because Sludge Wave always does a lot of damage, and he does switch into his Survivor, but of course I'm going to do a lot of damage to Survivor, so we're looking really good. Even though we're out of shields, we're in a really good position just because we haven't lost a single Pokemon yet, and he has Toxicroak, and we do get off yet another Silver Wind. He has to block this, but again, it doesn't matter. You know, he does get off Mud Bomb that's going to knock out us, you know, our Venomoth. But again, it doesn't matter. We just bring in the Crobat. So we actually do go ahead and pick up the win easily in that one. So another good game. I really enjoyed that game. So we're moving on to yet another game. What else is new? And beginning with Alolan Muck, he does have his shiny Honchkrow. Just going to stay in because, as you guys know, I really don't like switching first unless you absolutely have to. I've mentioned that before. You know, if you have to, of course you have to pull the switch, but in this case I didn't. We're actually doing more damage to him than he is to us, so I'll definitely take that. We're almost gone, but both of us are down a shield, so that's really nice. To get off that Dark Pulse, he's going to block it, so now he's down shields. Of course he's going to knock out our Alolan Muck, but we did leave a dent in Alolan Ninetales because it's not a bulky Pokemon, you know. And I'm going to go ahead and forfeit my last shield just to protect myself from that Ice Beam. I do believe you should probably have Psyshock and Dazzling Gleam on Alolan Ninetales. Ice Beam is good too, but yeah, as some of you had mentioned in the comments in a previous video, you know, Psyshock is a new move that it gets, so it's actually really good on Alolan Ninetales, so it can make Alolan Ninetales really good. You know, if you wanted Ice Beam, you could do Ice Beam and Psyshock or something, but yeah, anyway, we do go ahead and take that match. So yeah, another good game. I have some friends that are currently working on the team, so hopefully I do have other battles against other people as well soon. But right now, we're doing another battle, and I do have my Skuntank. He has his Tentacruel, and I'm doing more damage to him than he is to me. I do decide to go ahead and block that Sludge Wave just because Sludge Wave is annoying. You know, I get off my Crunch. This is going to do a good amount of damage, not enough to actually knock him out because we, you know, so we did go ahead and knock him out after that. So doing a lot of damage with that Skuntank. So I know I said maybe I'll switch the Skuntank out. Maybe I won't now because it's actually putting in some work. You know, we're almost taking out that Crobat. We actually did take out that Crobat and still survived. So we took out a Crobat, and we took out a Tentacruel. So I'll definitely take that one in a great position. However, I do have a Tentacruel and a Venomoth, so I knew that Honchkrow was actually super effective against both my Pokemon. So I'm like, we might actually lose this because of that, but we did get it low enough to where we're able to just protect ourselves from Sky Attack, and we could knock it out because of how low this Honchkrow is. So we do take that win. But yeah, we could have been in a bad situation, you know. He could have knocked us out, but we did win. Anyway, beginning with Crobat, he begins with his Umbreon, of course. And he's actually doing more damage to me than I am to him. I decided not to block this foul play because, you know, I knew I could survive it, and I knew I would get off a Sludge Bomb, and I just wanted to keep my shields. Now, he still has half his health, or not half right now, it's about 30% left, so he's able to knock out Crobat. So, unfortunately, not really a great position for us, but, yeah, that's okay. We do bring in Azumel, and Umbreon cannot do a whole lot to Azumel, not with foul play. It can't do much at all. I mean, he could whittle down my health, you know, keep on chipping away at it, which is what he's doing, almost down to half by now, but it does have to go through several charge moves in order to do so. But because he's up a Pokemon, I guess it's not a big deal for him. He does switch into Tentacle, and of course this is a big problem for me. I was going to switch. You saw me, I was going to switch, but somehow I clicked the switch button, and then I clicked on the charge move or something, and it went for the charge move. I meant to switch, but anyway, not a big deal. He does switch into his Quillfish, and I do get that Silver Wind off. He is going to block it just because he's already low, but this confusion almost knocked it out. He does get off an Ice Beam, unfortunately, at the last second. Go ahead and block that, and I do get off a Silver Wind. I know it's not going to do a whole lot, but he does block it. I mean, I guess it would have done a good amount just because he was already knocked out. Both of our Pokemon go down, and I do take the win because I still had one in the back. So we actually do win that despite you know, a bad start for us. But beginning with Alolan Muck, this is actually the last battle we have, and he's beginning with Alolan Ninetales. And I'm just going to stay in because I'm a poison type. You know, I'm going to block that Ice Beam because of how much it does. It does do quite a bit. You guys know how much Ice Beam does. So, you know, Alolan Ninetales, not a bulky Pokemon, but it does have a strong attack, a high attack. So it is going to do a lot of damage, putting a lot of pressure when it's, you know, throwing out that Ice Beam or Psyshock or Dazzling Gleam. When it's throwing out any strong moves, it's probably going to force a shield most of the time because of how, you know, strong it is. But anyway, we actually knocked out a Pokemon and did half to that Honchkrow. So that's really good position for us. We do take that Sky Attack, not well though. You know, we actually took quite a bit of damage from that, unfortunately. So, you know, Sky Attack Honchkrow, really good if you decide you want to go with it. I'm not going to go with it, I don't think. As I said, my finalized team is on the side. But, yeah, I don't think I'm going to go with Honchkrow. This is the team that I'm working with, and the team that I tend to like the most, probably the most you've seen of it. But yeah, he does go ahead, get off his foul play. That is going to knock us out because we're almost done, and I do have Umbreon, and I was actually not sure if we would be able to win, but we do have a super effective Silver Wind, and we're going to be able to take the win with that. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.